Is this the final dip before a surge for Bitcoin as well as the altcoins? We're going to be unpacking some of the latest predictions and my analysis on this market with you guys based on this dip that we're seeing across the markets. We're seeing it in Bitcoin, we're seeing it in Ethereum, we're seeing it in the stock markets. So let's take a look into what's going on and what I think could be happening next. Now, we're also going to be talking about a few altcoins later in this video, which will include Cartesi, which is CTSI, Anchor, as well as I always forget the third one. Okay, let's go ahead. So Cartesi, CTSI, Anchor, and DIA. See what has happened in these markets later in this video. Of course, I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of what's happening in Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin dumps, that could still affect the altcoins. Okay, especially right now when if Bitcoin actually dumps below 110k, which seems like more of a probability now. Very important to see what happens here, okay? Because if it dumps below 110k, I mean, that is basically putting this bull cycle on the line here. I'm going to get into some specifics once I get into the charts here and show you guys what I think about some support levels and bounce levels that could be happening next. We're going to be taking a look into some major crypto and economics news as well, which is going to be very important, which could affect the markets. So let's go ahead and dive into some news first before going into the charts. The first piece here is going to be by Cointelegraph. Bitcoin sell pressure palpable as Bitcoin bid support stacks at 105k. Now, could this be, could the 105k level be a wick for Bitcoin to wick immediately back up or quickly back up to above 110k? I think that's going to be very important, because if we start closing some of these longer term candles under 110k, then that's going to call into question this bull cycle. Okay, and we're going to have to recharge what's happening in the markets, right? But as of right now, as I've been talking about, that 110k level, which has been a major resistance for a cup and handle that I'm about to show you guys, and I've been talking about it for months. Okay, that was the very important resistance. Um, so very important we hold that cup and handle breakout, because that is what I said to be the start of this bull cycle. Next piece here is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin whales add 20k Bitcoin post dip. Historical data hint at upward price momentum. So this is interesting. You know, we're seeing a dip in the market today, but the whales are still buying this up. So yeah, I mean, I am still bullish on this market, right? I've been telling you guys I'm still long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins here. Despite the dips that we have been seeing, despite the fake outs that we've been seeing, but this is just part of it, because even if you're in a bull cycle, it's not going to go up in a straight line. As long as I'm seeing higher highs and higher lows, probably from a higher time frame, then that still tells me we're in an uptrend. Okay. Next piece here is by Access Wire. Kindly MD acquires 5,700 Bitcoin, about 5,700 Bitcoin, to expand Nakamoto Bitcoin Treasury. I did some research on this company. It is a healthcare company. That's very interesting that they're actually acquiring Bitcoin. What does a healthcare company want with Bitcoin? You guys might want to read more into it and bring some insights into the comment section. But this is completely new to me. this company Kindly MD is acquiring Bitcoin. But regardless, I think that takes supply off the market and is still bullish for Bitcoin in the crypto markets. Next piece. Uh, this is by Cointelegraph. But Bitcoin won't go below 100K this cycle, as 145K target remains, analyst says. So let me go ahead and come back to the chart and show you guys what I'm talking about here, and that I agree with what the analyst says. 100K is a pretty long shot to get for Bitcoin to get below right now, at least. I'm not sure about the end of the cycle. I think at the end of the cycle, it could probably dump below 100K. But if we're still at the start of the cycle, and this is why I'm saying that. I've been telling you guys that this was a cup and handle pattern that's probably more noticeable on the weekly time frame. 110K was the resistance. We have broken above that 110K level. This is the monthly time frame now. Very important that Bitcoin stays above this 110K level with a monthly candle close, first of all. Okay. If we start closing and basically retrace this entire pump here we had back in July, that is not going to be looking good at the moment. And we're going to have to rechart this chart here. Let's take a look into the weekly time frame, where we are still looking good. If you guys actually just zoom out into the weekly time frame, we still have a cup and handle. This looks like it could still be just a retest at this moment, right? Back to 110K, excuse me, right? As long as we stay above the 110K resistance with weekly candle closes, I'm still not too worried yet. Let's take a look into the daily time frame here. I pointed out a rising wedge yesterday, which usually breaks to the downside, and that's happening right now. Breakdown target here is going to give you a breakdown target of 104K almost. So could that be where all the the buyers are stacked at, right? That's going to be very close to the daily 200 SMA for all types of significance, right? That's the orange line here, right? And then we're going to be taking a look into 12-hour time frame, because I think there is a support there that has not been hit for a little while, which is the 12-hour 200 SMA at about 111K. That could be short-term support here, right? That could give Bitcoin a bounce. So that's basically what I'm looking at. Also, want to point out the weekly time frame here, weekly 21 SMA. Currently, looking, like it's gonna come up pretty fast, right? Come up pretty quickly. That's currently at about 105, 106K here, which is the weekly time frame. The blue line here, which we have quite a bit of support beneath the price action. So I'm not really too worried yet. I am still long on my positions. What I'm doing is I am keeping my leverage positions from getting liquidated, and even if I have to sell some spot positions to cover my leverage positions, I will be doing that, right? And if I after I sell those spot positions to cover my leverage positions, which are longs, and those spot positions actually continue going down, I can actually buy back some of those spot positions, the same units, for cheaper. So I still see that as a gain, right? Um, and if this bull cycle continues, which I think very likely will, then eventually I will be able to exit out of my leverage positions for a profit. So that is my idea. Of course, these are just my opinions, not financial advice. You guys gotta do your own research. So let's go ahead and dive into some altcoin setups here and see what's happening here. We're going to be taking a look into ANKR first and see what has happened in this market. Going to come down to Anchor, currently trading at about 1.5 cents here. I talked about Anchor last time, and I pointed out a. I'm going to wait for TradingView to load. I pointed out a potential falling wedge here. I'm going to wait for my chart to load here. It's going to take a little while for TradingView today. Yes, so there was a falling wedge pattern here that is still valid, okay, for Anchor. This is the weekly time frame. Probably more validated on a lower time frame, but let's just stick with me here. Price target, if it breaks out at this point, price target is going to be about just right above 10 cents there, price target. So that's still quite a bit of a potential move for Anchor here. Now, falling wedges usually break to the upside, and it's definitely a pattern you should be spotting. It is towards the bottom of this pattern here, so Anchor's got quite a bit of way to go. Okay, there is still some bullish divergence on this weekly time frame that could be playing out, but it is trying to get on top of the weekly 21 SMA at about 1.7 cents right now. Now, even though falling wedges tend to break to the upside, there is still a smaller chance it breaks down. I've seen that happen. It just happened on on Bitcoin on a shorter time frame. That there was a breakdown and falling wedge. So there's going to be those are going to be some of the scenarios you got to that I take consideration into. Okay, breakdowns and breakouts falling short of the price targets. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more or less. Very much depends on what type of market we're getting. A very bullish market, sideways market, or bearish market. Of course, it's going to depend a lot on Bitcoin as well, because if Bitcoin continues dumping, that's not going to be good for the altcoins. Let's zoom in here a little bit and see if I can get any more clarity on what Anchor could be doing. So Anchor is trying to get on top of some of these daily moving averages, right? It's below all of them right now, including the daily 21 SMA, the blue line, daily 50 SMA, the white line, and the daily 200 SMA at about 1.8 cents, the orange line. Very important that if you're a bull on Anchor, you want to see Anchor break out of this upper trend line here. Otherwise, it could form some type of a falling wedge pattern, which would tell me that there's going to be more downside for Anchor before a potential breakout again. Okay, so this is what I'm estimating a possible falling wedge pattern if it doesn't break out of this upper trend line here. Let's go ahead and go to DIA, and see what's happening with this market here. Weekly time frame. Weekly time frame. This could still look like a possible cup and handle pattern here. Probably on the monthly time frame, right? We'll still have a rounded bottom. If DIA actually comes back up here to retest $1.35, two more times, this could form a cup and handle pattern. Still a very early guess right now. Of course, if it does form a cup and handle, that is a bullish pattern that usually breaks to the upside. But let's zoom in a little bit and see if I can get any more clues on what DIA could be doing. On the daily time frame here, it has broken out of a falling wedge pattern, right? Quite a few days ago. Price target for this pattern has not been reached. It's about $1.13. The breakout went as far as about $1.04 before getting rejected. But I do still see that this breakout is still valid because the price action is still above this breakout, this upper trend line here. Now, what could DIA be doing here? It has also formed a smaller falling wedge pattern here. The price target for this one is going to be about it's going to be about 89 cents there. Okay, so it went as far as about 84 cents for the breakout. So let's see if it will continue hitting that price target, right, towards that price target. What I'm seeing on this on an even smaller time frame here, the 6 hour, right? There was a small double bottom with bullish divergence, right? And it's trying to get over some 6 hour moving averages here. So something to be paying attention to. Let's see if Dia will continue towards some of these price targets. If it doesn't, the next key supports I could potentially be looking at will be the daily 50 SMA. Currently, the white line here. That's going to be the next level at about 67 cents, which is about 10% down from here, and see if that holds. So this is basically what I'm seeing for DIA. Let's go ahead and go to CTSI, which is Cartesi. It's an older coin that has been around for quite some time. Okay, I've traded this coin back in 2021, right? Glad to see that this coin is still around because it has made me some money, right? This is the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame. And there is a falling wedge pattern here on this weekly time frame. And it looks like it has actually broken out of it just last week. Price targets, it's taken by measuring the opening of the pattern, and you guys can verify this by I don't know, asking your favorite AI chatbots or just googling it. Price targets based on this breakout point here will give Cartesi a price target of about just short of 43 cents, right? It is trying to get on top of the weekly 50 SMA. Um, Good to see that this Bitcoin dump hasn't really affected Cartesi too much yet. Okay. And the price, I mean, it's trying to get on top of the weekly 50 SMA. That's about 10.7 cents. Next key moving average or resistance on this time frame is going to be the weekly 200 SMA at about 21 cents. Let's see if it's able to get above some of those resistances to get to this price target. Now, could there be more upside for Cartesi if it reaches that price target? What I would do is if it reaches this price target and if it consolidates at that price target, I would chart the consolidation pattern and see if I can get any more clues on if it would be more likely to continue upwards or will it be pulling back from there. Now, this basically wraps it up for these analysis on these coins. Let me know if you want to continue seeing any more of CTSI, DIA, or ANKR Network token, and I can bring you guys an update if you guys comment, like, subscribe if enough of you guys want to see this coin. Or if you guys want to see any other coins in this market, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe as well, and I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis.